No matter the location, from OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider.
Mitchell Renz here. You're watching the Raiders Report, and we are live. At least, hopefully y'all are joining me live. And if you haven't, make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe and turn on those notifications because we go live every single Tuesday. That's where all these questions are from. 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. First one's coming in, just Brian Darr. Just everyone start screaming Raiders in the comments. Next super chat's coming in from Ray. What up, Ray? Love the content. Keep up the good work. I'll tell you what, I always try to keep it up. Poor Chucky heads, believe it, baby. All right, let's go to Hector. What's up, my man? Ooh, Raiders should sign players who want to be Raiders, not playing around like AB, Trent Brown. We want people that are Raiders players. 100% agree. Trent Brown literally said that he plays for his name. He doesn't play for the team on the back. AB was an absolute nutcase. One of the reasons why I respect Max Crosby the way that I do, he's a player that you could tell. He wants to be a Raider for life. Those are the kind of guys that I want to continue to bring in. Let's go to Jake Powers here. We have the NFC East as our NFC division opponent. Do you think that our record against the NFC East will be next year? What do I think it's going to be? I mean, I think that the Raiders are better than the Cowboys. I think the Raiders are better than the Eagles. The Washington football team scares me a little bit. That's going to be a very, very sneaky team. It depends how good Ryan Fitzpatrick is. And then the New York Giants. The Giants had a very good free agency period. I think if you can escape going 2-2, you're happy. But I'm going to sit here and say that I think that the Raiders, when they're fully healthy, when they're fully put together, they're better than most of the teams, but they will drop at least one. So let's go 3-1. Let's go Max from Oakland. Mitch, not sure if you saw, but Julio Jones is projected to be traded to the Raiders. How many Chucky heads? Well, Max from Oakland, one of the reasons why I do this show is so I can point out BS news and rumors. He's not going to get traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. And I just did a quick Google search, and the only thing that pops up is from a company called Sportsnot. I don't know who they are, but they're not a reliable source. So Julio Jones is a great, great player. He really is, right? The issue here is, though, like, they're not going to make this move anytime soon. If they were to trade Julio Jones, it would have to be after June 1st, because if the Falcons trade Julio before that, they have to eat a lot of his contract, and, like, literally most of his contract. If they trade him after June 1st, then the Raiders, they'd be responsible for his full 15.3. The Falcons wouldn't be responsible for anything. But you know what? This show is about the nation, and I always appreciate people coming across, people watching, and I always want people to always respect, or no, I want to respect people's questions and not totally dumb it down. So shout out to Sam making this graphic real quick. Raiders receive Julio Jones. The Falcons receive a 2022 first-round pick. Would you guys make this trade? So let's say they figure out a way, because the only way the Falcons are going to trade Julio Jones is after the NFL draft and after June 1st. So with that being said, would you make this trade? Who wins this trade? Type LV for the Las Vegas Raiders. Type ATL for the Atlanta Falcons. And if you guys could do me a really, really big favor, I want you to take a screenshot of this trade right now, and then I want you to put it on Facebook. How do you do that? Share this video on Facebook. Click the share button underneath the video here. Then you click the Facebook icon. Then you can type whatever the hell you want and click post to Facebook. I made a bet with my boss that we could get at least 50 Facebook shares from the live show and everything that we're doing this week. If you could help me, please. It takes literally 5 seconds to do. It's the easiest way to be able to support the show. Let's just say you can't super chat. I get it. 2020 was a hell of a year. But you can help me in other ways. Hit that share button. Share this video on Facebook. All right, what up, Troy? Mitch, they say we have the 8th hardest schedule. Why do we always have a top 10 or even 5 strength of schedule? Well, you got to think about it. You're playing the Chiefs, okay? You're playing the Chiefs twice. That's never going to be easy. Plus, the AFC West has done a very good job over the last few years. Like, I get, the Broncos maybe haven't been successful, or the Raiders haven't been all that successful, or like the Chargers, but there's been some good and bad years. What the NFL does, they say, okay, this is what the AFC West record is. We're going to put it up against some of these other teams. The other reason why the Raiders' schedule has always been a little bit harder is the traveling. They don't travel as much now because they're in Las Vegas, but I don't take strength of schedule into account because so much can change every single year, and it always does change. Jack Kenna, you're next up. Why is Hooker not a Raider already? What are your thoughts on this? My thoughts are this, that either the Raiders aren't 100% sold on him being healthy, or if Malik is really just trying to test out the waters. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of talented corners. There's a lot of talented safeties. For whatever reason, the free agent market right now for defensive backs is kind of a strange thing. And if you're Malik, you're like, wait a minute, I was drafted in round 1. I'm an extremely talented player. Why am I not being offered a lot of money? If I'm an NFL organization, I'm saying, well, Malik, You know, you're coming off a torn Achilles. You haven't really played a lot of games. You've missed 28 games your first 4 years. Like, that's a major red flag. That's the biggest reason why Malik Hooker is still left unsigned, because if he's talented, or when he's healthy, he's one of the best in the league. But you can't guarantee me that he's even going to play more than 10 games right now. So if you guys bleed silver and black, seriously, subscribe to the Raiders Report. We're pumping out free videos literally every single day. If you're wondering why you're not up to date in the latest news and rumors, that's a you problem. So seriously, hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. Don't miss anything in the offseason. If you're the fan that doesn't watch what's going on in the offseason, you're a casual fan to me. I want diehard fans. I want guys that bleed silver and black. Let's go to Juicehead. He's been probably one of the biggest OGs around here. I think he's been around since 10K subs. What's up, Mitch? Trade up to draft Surtain and release Nixon and Lawson. Well, they already re-signed Nevin Lawson, so I don't see that happening. Keyshawn Nixon, not too crazy about him, but he's just more of a special teams player. If you're going to trade up to go get Patrick Surtain, I mean, if you want to go up and get him, honestly, you're going to have to give up pick 17. You're probably going to have to give up pick number 48. And you're also probably going to have to give up, I don't know if it's your 5th round pick, maybe your 6th round pick. Like, you're going to have to really go up there, because I think Surtain goes in the top 8 picks. And with the injury to Caleb Farley, that makes Surtain a little bit more intriguing to teams. So instead of trading up for Surtain, I'd rather just try to hoping a guy like J.C. Horn falls to the Raiders at 17. Everyday Jam Mitch, how high are you on Dylan Radins? He's a good player, solid right tackle out of North Dakota State. I don't see him going in the top 50, but there have been some people that are really throwing him up draft boards. The only reason, though, why I'll say this, why I wouldn't take him in round 2, there's so many talented tackles out there. There's so much talent on the offensive line position, at least. They're starting to become a lot more. He's like the 8th best tackle in this draft, and maybe 8 go in the top 50 picks, but there actually could be like 11 that go in the top 60, 65. I don't know when that run of tackles is going to happen. I do like him a lot, but if the Raiders do take him, it's going to be pick 48, because I don't think he's going to be around in the 3rd round. So name a player that the Raiders should trade away. So we always talk about guys that we can bring in, right? We got 943 people watching this live video right now. We're always talking about guys that the Raiders can trade for, right? I mean, obviously, the biggest name is always OBJ. But guess what? I want to like players that are on the Raiders team right now. Think about a guy on the team right now that you think the Raiders should trade away. When I realistically think about who's the most likely, I'm probably going to say Jalen Richard, because if you can trade him away, save $3.5 million, considering the fact that he's the 3rd running back on the team, that's the route I'm going to go. All right, King J, is edge the biggest need? No. You have Yannick Ngakoue, you have Max Crosby, you have Cleveland Ferrell all playing the edge. You could also probably throw in Solomon Thomas here and there as well. I don't think that edge is the biggest need. The biggest need right now for the Raiders is finding a right tackle. Finding a right tackle, and then safety position, and then I'll go veteran cornerback. Those are the biggest needs for the Raiders. All right, speaking of Yannick, what up, CJ? Do you think Yannick will have 10-plus sacks? I'm going to say yes, because he's had 8 sacks for 5 straight years, and now he's going to have even more of the ability to be great. When he was with Gus Bradley, his first few years in the National Football League, he was very inspiring, and you're like, wow, this is one of the youngest dudes in the league right now, and he's already putting up these type of numbers. He's motivated, and the other reason why I'm going to say yes is because his contract is a short-term contract. He is going to want to make a big-time payday, and if he really kills it these next 2 years, you're going to probably look at Yannick making like 21, 22, maybe even $23 million in 2 years from now, like per year. That's how good of a player he can be. Undisputed world champions, you think this year's free agent class will outperform last year's? I sure hope so, because the year is so different, right? The Raiders, instead of going out and spending all this big-time money, they were kind of patient. Sure, they got Yannick on a great deal, which I love, but last year they were spending big right away, right? Like they went out Corey Littleton, Carl Nassib, Nick Wachowski. I mean, they grossly overpaid for Mariota, grossly overpaid for Nassib. I'm hoping Littleton could turn it around, but in terms of his performance, they grossly overpaid him. Nelson Aguilar was probably one of the only good moves, at least on offense. Free agency, the offseason moves have been very bad by John Gruden so far. So, yes, I'm hoping that it gets a lot better. Dark Side Chevy, much love to you. Appreciate the super. If you says you're a diehard Raider fan and bleed silver and black, when are you getting your Raider tattoo? Oh, man, that's a good question, Dark Side Chevy. So I know I've thrown out this idea before that once I get to 100K subs, I'd get my Raiders tattoo. The issue is this. I don't have a tattoo yet, and I want my very first tattoo to be around my family. Like, I've been thinking about getting, like, a sleeve, like, family tree, because family's everything to me. So, like, if I could get that first one and then my Raiders tattoo, it'll happen. But I will say this. I got 25,000 subs in, like, 220 days. So if we get it in the next 220 days, maybe I got to get a full sleeve a little bit sooner. But Dark Side, it's a good question. It's something I've definitely been flirting with. So speaking of hitting me up, y'all, if anybody out there is a tattoo artist or a tattoo artist in general, and you want to come on the Raiders Report and you're willing to do it for free, hit me up at Mitchell Renz 365 on Instagram. I'll make you a deal. If you're a Raiders tattoo artist, I'll fly in and we can just do one live here on the Raiders Report. That's my offer out there. Hit me up if you're interested. It's at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, let's go to Robert TP. Who did a better job, McKenzie, Del Rio, or Mayock and Gruden? Honestly, I'm going to say McKenzie and Del Rio. I don't think McKenzie was good at drafting. However, Del Rio so far, I think, has actually been the better coach. Gruden might have more wins, but I actually think Gruden has more talent around him right now. But in terms of like going out and making moves, Mayock and Gruden have not been very good. Sure, the draft class in 2019 has been better. I'll say Mayock has been better than McKenzie. Del Rio has been better than Gruden. It's kind of cheating, but it's my show. Appreciate the super. All right, let's go to the next question coming in. Jordan B. Who is the player the Raiders are most likely to pick at number 17? It's a good question. I know we talk about a lot of different players here and there, but the more and more people I talk to inside of the Raiders organization, they're giving me the hints that if I was a betting man, which I am, I always say that, I'm going to go with Tevin Jenkins, right tackle out of Oklahoma State. He, to me, is the second best right tackle in this year's draft. Penei Sewell's not going to be there. Rashawn Slater, to me, is a little bit more of a guard. Now, if Rashawn Slater somehow slides to the 17, the Raiders take him up in an absolute heartbeat. Christian Darrisaw is probably actually the better tackle, but he played more left tackle from people that I talked to. The Raiders view Teven Jenkins as a better right tackle than Christian Darrisaw as a right tackle. Plus, he does remind me of a lot like a Colt Miller, where he might struggle in year one, but he has the upside, he has the body, he has the athletic ability to be very good in the few years down the road. So I'm actually going to say Tevin Jenkins. I picked number 17. But if you guys disagree with me, it's all good. It's what the Raiders Report is all about here. Who will the Raiders draft at pick number 17? I know I'm going to get a lot of Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoras. I'm going to get some Micah Parsons thrown in there. I might even get a few offensive players as well. But go down in the comments. Let me know. Who will the Raiders draft at 17 overall? No question, but appreciate the super chat from Autumn Abyss. Much love to you. We are at, what, $111 in super chats. I'll make you guys a deal. We got 913 people watching right now, 535 likes. If we can get $200 in super chats, I'm going to make Sam, and I'll take a shot of Fireball. We'll get the weekend started because my weekend's about to start. The weekend's about to start on a Tuesday. All right, what up, Ray? What do you think our linebacking core will look like? So this is what our linebacker core is going to look like. It's going to be Nicholas Morrow. It's going to be Nick Kwiatkowski, and then it's going to be Corey Littleton. Like, those are going to be, like, your main three dudes. Also, don't be shocked if Javen White gets a little bit of run. Jonathan Abram might get some run at linebacker, but he's just going to be more of, like, this box safety, if you will. Tanner Muse, I'm curious to see what they do with him, but I still think the Raiders can go out and draft a very good linebacker like a Jabril Cox, a Brandon Browning, a player like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoras, Micah Parsons in there. But the one player that I think could change his role a little bit, Nicholas Morrow, he could actually play some Mike linebacker instead of just it always being Kwiatkowski. Lil Homeboy XY23, chances of them making the playoffs in Chucky heads. 2 Chucky heads, people are talking 50-50 chance. So if you want to flip a coin, tell me what it is. I'm going to go with tails. Let's go to Mr. Bungles. Would you let Sebastian Janikowski kick you in your Manscaped area for a guaranteed Raiders Super Bowl victory? Oh, yeah. I would. I mean, like, that old saying, pain is temporary, pride is forever. I also don't know if I want kids. So, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, if you're telling me I can get a guaranteed Super Bowl victory for Janikowski to kick me in my downstairs, I'm there. I'm ready to rock and roll. Sam said in my Ken Stabler, yes. 4 Chucky heads, and if I leave with no Chucky heads, it's all good. I did it for the nation. All right, Manny, what's up, my dude? Do you think the Raiders will extend Yannick after his deal ends? It depends how much Yannick wants. And I'll say this. The only way Yannick doesn't hit that free agency market is if the Raiders throw him like a huge deal. I don't know if the Raiders are going to do that because in 2 years from now, There's a lot of players set to hit the free agent market. Like, you're going to have Josh Jacobs. You're going to have Jonathan Abram. No, that's a lie. You're going to have Max Crosby. Like, it's going to be between somebody like Max Crosby, and you're also going to be looking at a guy like, Yannick. Who are you going to pay out of that bunch? That still remains to be seen. But yeah, Max Crosby, Cleveland Farrell, Josh Jacobs. I was right. I'm not losing my mind. Those are all the guys to keep in mind. All right, Michael, what up, Strand? Do you think AMIK is good enough to start in the nickel if we can't secure pull? Do I think AMIK Robertson is good enough? Yes, I do. For whatever reason, he did not have a lot of confidence last year, and that really hindered him. Plus, you could see how confused AMIK was. It also kind of gave me a reason to maybe give LaMarcus Joyner a little bit of slack, because when you talk to a lot of the Raiders players, normally the defense comes up with a game plan. Corey Littleton flat out said it. Paul Gunther literally would go and be like, all right, anything's on the table, we can do anything. And players didn't know their assignments a lot. And when you're playing slot as a rookie with no work, realistically, with like training camp or all that other stuff, things are going to get confusing. But yes, AMIK Robertson was a player that I absolutely loved coming out of Louisiana Tech, and I do think that he can be a very good and reliable nickel corner in the NFL. All right, what up, Slick Rick? Think Bryan Edwards can have a 1,000-yard season. Do I think he can have it? Yes. Would I predict it? No. He just has to be able to prove that he can stay healthy. Plus, Derek spreads the wealth out, right? The only player that's going to have over 1,000 receiving yards, I think, this upcoming year is going to be Darren Waller. He is your true number one receiver. Besides that, I mean, you could tell me right now if Bryan Edwards, Hunter Renfrow, Henry Ruggs, and John Brown, they could all be around 500, 600 receiving yards. Like, that to me is realistic. The only guy I'm betting on for over 1,000 is Waller.